So tell us, why are you creating Housing Hub? What problem does it solve?
Right now for renters, when they go to apply for project-based Section 8 units, they have to go to each individual location and apply in person, often during working hours, or they might have to pull their children out of school to be able to make it to the appointments because they'll often require all household members to be there in person. And also for renters, once they get on a waiting list, they don't know where they are on that list. These properties are very overwhelmed with renters wanting to live there, and they can't find out where their name is on the list. And every time that they move or get a new phone number, they need to update that information. And people frequently forget who they signed up for, like which property. So we're losing renters who qualify for housing because we can't find them as an industry when their name comes to the top of a waiting list. Right now we're seeing 40% of the households who get on a waiting list are actually contacted and given the opportunity to move in. So this is an important resource that will help streamline that process, get more qualified renters into the door of these housing units faster.
Will you show us how Housing Hub will help low-income renters? Do you have any demo you can provide?
I do. I'll walk you through a few screens that show exactly what the renter will see as they're searching for housing. So here's the first screen when a renter comes to the Housing Hub website that they'll see. They answer a handful of questions about their household income and where they're interested in living. The next step in the process will bring them to all of the locations that match their criteria. They'll only see units that they will qualify for. So if their income is too high, they won't see those units. And then once they select Join Waitlist, they'll get added to the wait list, and then in their profile, they'll be able to see where they are in the top section here of My Wait Lists. You can see your current position on the wait list. You can see that you're still waiting to be accepted on another waiting list, and then other waiting lists that you qualify for but you haven't added yourself to.
Great, looks slick. Will you show us how it works on the property manager side?
Yeah. So the next screen is when a property manager's created their profile, they can choose to import their existing waiting list from another system or begin from scratch doing all of the data entry from ground zero. As they move through the process, they'll see all of their properties in the system. They'll be able to select that property to add it to a wait list. And then as they move into creating their wait list, this is what the renter sees when they see that detailed profile. You can see the address, average estimated length of wait, income requirements, all of the detailed information. What we're building out right now is more of the administrative pages for the manager. So that is when I come and look at all my wait lists in the system, I can move into it and see who's on the waiting list. And then also I'll be able to go into an individual person and see what communication I've had with that household, tracking all of that applicant activity, any phone calls, emails, conversations, so that we know where we are with each applicant on the waiting list as far as status goes. And on the renter side, they'll be able to log in and also see where they are in their status on the wait list.
Interesting. So what will Housing Hub tell us about demand for affordable housing in the areas where Housing Hub is used?
So Housing Hub is going to be tracking we'll have an unduplicated count for the number of households who are trying to get on waiting lists for subsidized housing. In addition to that, we'll have information on their household size, income, age of the head of household. We'll have the number of waiting lists that are available in our community and around the nation. And we'll start to be able to track things like the average length of wait, the average size of a waiting list, whether or not we see turnover in the units or that length of wait on the waiting list go faster as Housing Hub is around for a longer period of time. In addition to that, we'll have new information on the supply and the location of the affordable housing units and the demand from renters. How many people are saying that they want to live in Minneapolis, or how many people are saying they want to live in a rural part of the state? And really starting to get at what's the demand, where do renters say they want to live, so that we can see where they're saying our housing choice is this community.
And finally, will you tell us how Housing Hub will benefit or change a community's housing system?
With the increased transparency for the renter, they'll have a better sense of where they are, and they won't feel so excluded from the system and like things are hidden from them. And then as an overall system, having that supply and demand data frequently updated and seeing how quickly waiting lists move or how slowly they move, we'll start to have better insight into the management tactics and what kinds of properties have what length of wait. Senior housing might have slower turnover rates than family housing or vice versa. Starting to understand all of that from a more data-driven perspective, from a neutral third-party source that isn't self-reported, is really important and will help inform new policy and help to determine housing needs and where people are wanting to live and what programs are working most efficiently and effectively.
Well, Sue, thanks so much to you and the HousingLink team for sharing about this exciting new project, and we look forward to seeing how it rolls out and benefits the communities where it is used.
Thanks.